You've seen how Mini Bridge works inside Photoshop CS5, but what about the full Adobe Bridge application? Well, that's what we'll take a look at over the course of the next few lessons, and there's some awesome things to get to here. I think you're really going to like this, and this is a fabulous way, again, to manage your graphics, manage your files, and all the different documents that you have available. So if you want to go and launch the full Bridge application from Photoshop, what you can do is you can head up to the File menu and then down to Browse in Bridge if you wish. Or what you can do is you can click on the Bridge icon on the Photoshop application bar. Either way, whichever one you go with, what's going to wind up happening as soon as you choose that command is Adobe Bridge is going to launch, or if you already had it running, it's going to flip into the foreground here and we're ready to roll. Now, I have Bridge looking at my project files folder, so I see all the same images that you and I saw inside Mini Bridge. And at first glance, Adobe Bridge CS5 is maybe a little overwhelming. I mean, there's a lot to look at here. We have all kinds of icons running across the top. There's some panels running down the left side and more panels running down the right-hand side. It's maybe a little bit overwhelming. So I think what I'll do is I'll try and walk you through and kind of give you a nice, hopefully fairly straightforward tour of the full Bridge interface. So obviously right off the bat here, we have lots of stuff across the top here. We have this icon bar running right across the top, and we have this path bar or this breadcrumb bar just below that. So all this content here across the top. And then running down the left-hand side, we have our favorites, which I'm sure you'll recall from Mini Bridge. And as a quick side note, by the way, I added my project files into my favorites in Mini Bridge, and the full Adobe Bridge CS5 is smart enough to recognize that change. There's my project files folder right there inside my favorites inside the full Adobe Bridge. So in other words, Adobe Bridge and Mini Bridge are synced up, if you will. So we have the favorites. We also have a folders tab as well. You can navigate around inside your files if you want, using a folder tab if you want. And then below that, we have a filter tab. We have collections. You saw collections. They were mentioned briefly in Mini Bridge. We'll talk about those guys. And we also have an export tab here as well. So lots to see there on the left-hand side. I'm just going to flip back to filter there. In the main view, of course, we have all of our graphic thumbnails or all of our document thumbnails. And then over on the right-hand side, we have our preview pane. We saw a preview pane in Mini Bridge. We also have a preview pane here inside the full Adobe Bridge. And then we have metadata, and we also have keywords, and you'll see how these guys play out here. Now, what's interesting to note is that all of the panels, I guess in this main interface, I guess it's safe to say that, they're all draggable. So if I want to make the right-hand side a little bit larger, I can certainly drag on that right-hand divider, that vertical divider, if I want. I can drag on dividers that appear between panels as well. Maybe I want to increase my preview and thus decrease the metadata panel. I could certainly do that. And of course, the same holds true over on the left-hand side as well. I can make my favorites and my filter panels larger and smaller just by dragging on these little dividers. So hopefully no worries. Now, in terms of the interface here, maybe what I should do so that I don't completely overwhelm you is I should show you some of the common items, some of the common options that we have between Mini Bridge and Adobe Bridge. Or in other words, some of the things that we saw in Mini Bridge that you're already comfortable with, where do you find them here inside the full Adobe Bridge? Well, you'll notice that a lot of the icons that run across the top of the interface are very similar to our Mini Bridge icons. For example, we have the go back and go forward icons, no changes there. Remember, we had a drop-down that allowed us to go to previously viewed folders, right? Or recently opened folders. Well, that's what this drop-down menu here in the top left-hand corner does. Those common or recently opened files and folders. We have this drop-down menu in the top left, which essentially does the same as well, taking us to recent folders and recent files as well. So there's my desktop, my computer, my Mac hard drive. I had navigated to my applications folder back in MiniBridge. Again, because the two are synced up, each knows what the other has done, right? There's a neat little boomerang icon, by the way, which will take you back to Photoshop. Kind of neat. There's some other icons here. You might want to check them out. I'll just zip through them real quick here for you. If you want to pull some photos off of your camera, or if you want to flip into camera raw, you can certainly do that. You can refine your view if you want. We have review mode, battery name and file info, and yet another drop down here if we want to output to the web or to the PDF file format. Now, a lot of this stuff we didn't have in MiniBridge. But again, if you recall way back, I said that MiniBridge gives us the best options, the most commonly used options out of the full Adobe Bridge application, right? Okay, what else do we have? Well, I already pointed this out, but there's our breadcrumb path underneath there. So you can see that I've gone from my computer to my hard drive, shared VTC into the Adobe Photoshop Pro User Skill Sets folder, and then into the project files folder there. That's what I'm looking at here. In MiniBridge, you saw that we could filter our view. We can also filter the view here in Adobe Bridge by showing 1 or more stars, 4 or more stars, and so on, show only labeled items, and so on and so forth. We can sort by file name or by type or by creation date, and so on. And of course, there's also some additional items. I think a lot of the additional icons are fairly straightforward. We can rotate our thumbnails clockwise and counterclockwise. We can open files, create new folders, and delete items as well. So some new things there for you to explore. Our search field up at the top. And this is something that I'll let you explore on your own. We can switch Bridge into a compact mode or a compact view, which is pretty cool. All right, finally, way down at the bottom, we have our slider to increase or decrease the size of our thumbnails. We saw this in MiniBridge. And of course, we can also change our views if we want as well. Remember, we had this grid view or this grid lock view. You can turn that on. You can switch the content to thumbnails there if you wish. However you want to view it there. And then finally, we have this details view, which I'm sure you remember from earlier as well. We had that in MiniBridge. And then the very last option here is the list view. Again, I'm sure you remember this from MiniBridge. So again, a lot of the same options that we have here, plus some additional items. And it's those additional items, those additional commands in Adobe Bridge CS5 that I want to talk about. So let's get to that stuff next.